Hey there, and welcome to another channel review covering in this episode the brand new FNIRSI DPS-150 mini power supply. It's mini in size but with big features. It features a maximum of 30 volts and 5 amps to a maximum power of 150 watts with a lot of goodies, especially if you are using PC software that comes with it. Yeah, I already tried, so bear with me to know more about it. Now let me tell you that this power supply was sent for this review by FNIRSI free of charge and no payment was made by them to produce this video, and they will see it at the same time you will, only when it's published on YouTube. Just a quick note to thank FNIRSI for sending this unit and for their long-term collaboration with the channel. But I want also to thank you, my viewer, yes you, that sponsored the channel by using the affiliate access links on the screen or in the video description whenever you want to access AliExpress or Amazon. To do your shopping you pay exactly the same, but just by using these links you are helping me and the channel to produce these videos. A big heartfelt thanks. Without further ado, let me show you the key features. As usual, let's start by unboxing and see what is delivered. It comes in this pretty box. It has all the specifications here in the side, and in the back you have also a few more specifications. Okay, as you can see, it goes up to 30 volts, 5 amps, 150 watts power. Okay, let's see what comes inside. So inside we have a printed user manual. It is in Chinese and English only, but as usual very well organized and with color. The normal FNIRSI quality assurance, the DPS 150. Let's open it. Two banana plug to alligator clip cables, one USB Type-C to Type-A data cable for PC connection. Also delivered with the DPS 150, it is this 100 watts GAN charger. It has two ports of USB Type-C and one port of USB Type-A. And it came with this awesome USB Type-C cable for connecting to the DPS 150. Allow me this small break to send kudos to this video sponsor, PCBWay. Being a leader in PCB fabrication, it is able to manufacture with very low price and in record time the PCBs for your project. Don't believe me? Just take a look. You get 10 PCBs double-sided for $5. It's hard to beat this. But that's not all. You can even create your project parts like custom case with their injection mold service or 3D printing, not to talk about their professional CNC machining service. It's a one-stop supplier for all your project needs, and if you use the code below on the screen, you will get a $5 discount on your first order. For first impressions, this is aluminum, I think. This box is metallic, it seems like it. We have two outputs, the positive and negative on the front, and the knob for controlling several parameters in the system. In the bottom we just have some information like the model and yeah, that is made in China. On the left side you have the on, off or lock button also, and the other side just the FNIRSI logo. In the back we have this micro USB for data connection to connect to the PC. I don't know why they used micro USB instead of USB Type-C, but it is my opinion. That might be so you can distinct the two connectors, since this one is for powering with PD or a USB charger, and we have also the DC barrel for powering this power supply. Using DC barrel or the USB Type-C, you have to choose here in this switch which option you are using. So that's it. And in the front we have this home button. We have also the memory button, so we can select the groups, and I will show you a bit ahead in the video, the direction keys, and an options switch also. So the screen tilts 90 degrees. You can put it up to 90 degrees, a little more even. Okay, let's power this and see how it works. Before starting to show you how this works, let me just do two observations. Right now I'm powering this with the USB Type-C PD connection, but on the testing phase I will power it with my power supply, and I will take it up to the 30 volts, and right now it's only 20, as you can see here in the screen. Another thing that I should note is that the image that you are seeing here doesn't reflect the quality image of this device. It has a really good quality image. No, you can see on the screen some deformation on the colors or stuff like that, but it's perfect when you are looking directly to the screen. Okay, that said, so in the screen from the left to right you have in this box where it says input the voltage that is being supplied by the charger that was supplied with it, the PD charger 100 watts. You have in this, well, not square, but in this area, the sound indicator, the temperature indicator of the device, and if the channel is open or not with run or stop here. Stop, it's not running. The voltage that is being output, the set voltage. You have here also the amperage and the set amperage, and the power that's being output. You have in this square the lock indicator, and to lock the device it's pretty simple. You just press here on the output button on off for a bit, a long press, and it will lock the system. And when locked, let me show you, nothing will work. It says key to unlock, so you just press again and we are able to use it again. We have the memory group available. You have 6 memory groups. You use it by pressing this M key. As you can see, you have 6 memory groups, and memory groups are presets basically. You have here the status of the output. Right now it's okay, but if you use the over voltage protection or over current protection, temperature protection or power protection, it will show you here. And right now it says that the current voltage is green. So you have the time that is running and a few more informations like amp hours or watt hours. This is the main screen. By pressing the home button you are able to go to the settings, and on the settings you are able to define several protections like the over voltage, the over current, over power and over temperature that will kill the output if any of these values is reached, or the under voltage that is set to a minimum of 5 volts. And in the second screen you have some settings like the language, the theme, the brightness and the volume. Also if the metering is open or closed. Regarding to select any of these options to change it, just press this option button. Okay, let's try another theme to see how it is. We select the IE and let's go to the main screen to see how it is. I have to say maybe I prefer this one. It's, I don't know, but anyway, you can choose between those two screens. Let's for now put it again in the normal screen, and yeah, that's it. Let's take this to the top again, just press, and the final is the about, and the about page has a lot of Chinese text while we are using the English, so maybe FNIRSI maybe translate this the next time, the next firmware. I'm using firmware 1.1 and I cannot say this is the model, and this one I cannot say what it is because again it's in Chinese. So nothing much here. If you press again to the left, you'll go to the main screen. To change the values in voltage set and amperage set, you just press option and we will start with the voltage. And for that you use the knob to put the value on the right position, on the right value. When you are satisfied, press option. You will be able to select also the amperage that you want, the current, okay, like this. And finally you press option again and everything is unselected and you change the values. Also to use the memory presets, and we are now in the memory 6 or group 6, you just use the M as I shown before, but if you want to change the default values, as you can see they are changing here. If you want to change those values, you just press memory, the M key with a long press like this, and we are able to start editing. We were on memory 5, I think this is saying memory 6. Yeah, but we were on memory 5. Let me see again. Oh, it seems there is a bug here. Okay. Even so, if you want to change to memory 5, just use the direction keys. You are able to go through all the memories. Let's try to change the values in memory 5. Okay. I will put this at 10 volts. Yeah, like this. And 1 amp. Okay. And that's it. Just press memory. And ooh, damn. Okay, let's see. Ooh, okay. We are at 10 volts, 1 amp, but you have to do the cycle of memories to get the voltage set again. But it has a little bug. If you press on memory 5, it will open the memory 6 editor. And one thing that I would like to see implemented is when you change the memory, if you are on memory set, is to update the voltage. But that is something that I understand it doesn't do. But let's change again the voltage of this. Okay, 12 volts. Yeah, let's keep this in 1 amp. So memory 5, and it was not updated. But okay, I kind of understand that. 6, and let's see. Okay, memory 5, it's updated. And we have also a screen with graphic output. So for that, just press for a while, a long press on the options, and you will see this screen where all other information is condensed on the top, like the status of the channel, the group, and so on. Here on the top you have the voltage, the current, again the time, and the voltage or current settings. Right now the line is on the bottom because I'm not outputting anything. To activate the output, so you can see something here and also have energy in these connectors, you have here on the right side the button that I'd shown you before. Let's press it. As you can see, it lights up blue color, and in the front you will have also these light colors that it's a good indicator that is outputting the current or the voltage in this case. And that's it. As you can see, it altered the graphic since now it's outputting 5 volts. And we can change this by coming here, for example, and decreasing or increasing the voltage that you want to output up to the maximum of 20 volts almost, since it's the maximum that the charger that I have here is able to output. Okay, one final note is these connectors, if you notice, and if you unscrew this part, you will see there a hole, so you can use it with wires. This is pretty useful if you are using DuPont cables or anything else in your projects. Okay, that's a nice detail also. Before start testing the DPS-150 with my power supply and the electronic loads and multimeter and everything else, let's see how is the progression on a light bulb. I have here the DPS-150 right now. It's configured with 5 volts. Let me change that to a lower value, like 1 volt. Yeah, and we will increase the voltage slowly until it gets 12 volts. That's the voltage for this lamp. Okay, that's it. Let's power it on. Okay, no change there. 1 volt seems too low. Let's start increasing the voltage. Okay. We see there already some light. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah. It's starting to have some bright. Okay. It doesn't flicker. It seems okay. And we are at 12 volts, the maximum and normal temperature, normal voltage for this lamp. What I want to say is this heat up a lot. So it consumes quite a lot of power for this lamp. Okay, let me go back and put this on a lower voltage. Yeah, you can go down up to 2 volts. It has a very light, a very thin light, a very low light in there, but you can see it. So the power is on. I have the electronic load ready. So let's start with constant voltage. I will start with 1 volt. Opening the channel. Right now I'm with 30 volts. Let's start with 3 volts. Okay. And yeah. So for 3 volts, it says it's outputting 3.11. It's being registered as 3.12 on the Siglant, and the correct says it's pulling 3.0019 amps and 3.002 volts. Okay. Let's move on to 5 volts. So now in 5 volts it's pulling 5001 volts, very well. It's stating that is pulling also 340-ish amps, and in terms of output it's outputting 5.010. So yeah, it's nice, very accurate. Okay, moving on to, let's see, 10 volts. Okay, let me go here and pass this to 10 volts. Okay, so the current is with a red sign until I put it here also in 10 volts. Okay, now it's okay. So 10.010, nice. Also mostly the same in the correct, and this is the energy being pulled from the Rigel power supply. As you can see, it's being pulled 32 volts at 0.140 amps. Okay, very nice. Okay, let's move this to 20 volts. Okay, I have also to change it in here. Okay, 20 volts. It's outputting around 10.40 watts. That's more or less what it is being reported here on the electronic load. And also 20 volts, pretty accurate. 20 volts on the Siglant. Pretty happy with all the results. It seems to be very accurate. Okay, moving on to the maximum. Let's see, 30 volts. Let's debit this and inserting here the 30 volts. 30 volts, 3 amps maximum. So in 30 volts, it's pulling 30.002 with 0.480 amps, so this is correct with we have here, and 14 point, yeah, 300 medium watts. Yeah, that's okay. 30 volts, everything seems fine. Let's now test it in terms of amps. For that I will start with 1 amp. Okay, it says for 1 amp 30 volts, that is with 29.99 watts, more or less what we have in the Corret, so very good. The voltage is at 30.009 volts, also very good. Let's move on to 2 amps, and don't forget that I can go only up to 3 amps with this power supply. So with 2 amps we had a very small drop of 3 decimal digits on the less significant digit, so this is spot on for me, no worries. Also it is pulling 29.935 in here. You should hear now the fans from both power supply and load, electronic load. They are working. If you have that on the sound, sorry for that, but I cannot do anything about it. And in terms of pulling, it says 1.999 amps, and it's basically the same with one less important digit on amps. So almost 60 watts pulling. That's more or less what we have here. Very good equipment. Let's go to 3 amps. This is the maximum that I can supply with this power supply. Let's go 3 amps on constant current. So 3 amps, we have an output of 2.996, and basically it says it's almost the same in the electronic load, almost 90 watts and a voltage of 29.891. In terms of the signal, it detects that again it lowered 3 digits, the less significant digit, but still on the 30 volts. So really good in this case. Now we have the fans at full speed. I don't know if you can hear in the recording, but right now they are at full speed. Let's just test it with power. Let's start with like 10 watts. Enter. Okay. So when I'm pulling 10 watts, it's outputting here 9.98. We have 30.012 voltage in output, so still on 30, with only changing the 2 less significant digits. Let's move on to 30 watts, sorry. Okay. In terms of 30 watts, yeah, it's almost spot on in terms of output. We have two less significant 2 digits in the less significant house, and yeah, 1 amp, 974, that's more like it, 29.975 watts, almost the 30 if you round it. Okay, let's move it now to 60 watts. And in 60 watts we will have 2 amps at 30 volts output. It's showing an output of 60.09, very good. Let's move to 90 watts. No, 90 watts it will not accept. 89 watts. 89, no, let's see, 80 watts. So at 80 watts we have 30 volts output and 2.942 amps. Probably I will be able to go up, but it seems very accurate. Again, we are 30.002 volts. It seems awesomely accurate. I like this very much. Okay, let's move on. Now I will show you some of the protections of this DPS-150 power supply. Let's start with the reverse connection protection. I will set this on 15 volts in the DC electronic loads, while we have programmed here 30 volts with 3 amps. So when I will connect this, the reverse protection will activate exactly. So this is the reverse connection protection in working. You can force it. If you press again the channel, it will work, but it will tell you that it has 2 warnings: the reverse connection protection and also the CC constant current. But if you came here and reduce this to the 15 volts, the 15 volts that is pulling from here, everything will be fine. Okay, so another protection that we can see is the, for example, over voltage. Let's try to put this over voltage at 15 volts. Okay, so right now I have 15 volts. Let's try to increase this, this will take too long, to 20 volts, 20 volts, yeah. Okay, it's pulling 20 volts. So what will happen now when I increase the voltage setting? It's that I will trigger the over voltage protection. And the same will happen for the remaining over power, over current, over temperature, and also the under voltage. It will immediately close the channel. It's right now it's closed, but if I open, it will immediately trigger the over voltage protection. So it works quite well. Okay, the last test that I want to make is this short circuit protection. I have here both alligators. I will touch to see what happens. Okay, just a touch, and immediately I think the reverse connection protection was activated and the channel was closed. Okay, that's it for now. Now I want to show you how to use the PC software. Just connect the micro USB data cable to this port. On the PC, open the FNIRSI website, that's this one, and go to Downloads and Software. I see that they now also have the PC software application for the FNB58. That's very good news, and also for the other models. And if you drill down a bit, you will have here the DPS-150 software download. Just click on this button and this window will appear. You have to download the software from this window. After the software is downloaded, you will have this zip file on your computer. You need to extract the application that's in it. After extracting the application, you just double click to run it. You will have probably this warning saying that the application is not secure. This one or another one in blue if you are using Windows 11. Just press run it, because the only problem is that the application was not signed with a certificate. And it takes a bit to boot up, but here it is. At first the application is in Chinese. You need to go to this gear icon and select this option that has the globe. Okay, you have several options available, 7. Deutsch, Portuguese, this should be Korean, Japanese, or Korean, I don't know. And also this one, I don't know, Russian and English. I think it's more universal. And you will have basically what you have on the interface screen of the DPS-150, but not only. You can have a lot more options in here. Let me start by showing you how to connect. I have command here selected, but I don't believe that we'll be able to connect. No, you have to come here and select the appropriate communication port for your device. again, and now we are selected. As you can see, when it selects and the K-lock icon appears, it's also visible on the display screen of the DPS-150. And you have in this corner all the information about the connection. Below you have all the information about the input voltage, the output that is generating right now. If you open, it will say it's generating 12 volts. The output in terms of amperage, the power, the temperature of the device in Celsius degrees, and also the temperature in Fahrenheit degrees. And finally, the indicators that you are outputting normally and also in constant mode. You can also set up the brightness in here. That is a settings parameter, but it's able to set here. And also the measurement switch is available here. The measurement switch is this part of the screen, okay, and you are able to reset these values by opening or closing this option. Right now we have 0.023 amps hour and 0.149 watts hour. If I open or close this, it will reset these values, as you can see on the display screen in the device. In here the values were not updated yet. I have to do open, close, and those will be updated. Also very nice to update the group options, the memory options. You just press here, set the values that you want, and you can press even start or save. Okay. You have the graph also integrated within this interface, but one option there is very cool is the option to save the data that is measured. So for that you just need to start a session like this. You press the start session, you activate the value, and this will produce the data that you need. Then that can be saved for a XML file. You have one here already, and this is how it looked like in Excel. All the columns already formatted and ready to be processed. So you can also activate the lines in the graph for the output current or output voltage, and in terms of the main screen you can set up here the voltage that you want, for example 5 volts, and open, and is set to 5 volts as you can see on the display. You have also the advanced options. So in terms of advanced options, something that is really cool is this stepper here, where you can set up several values. Okay, you just need to set it here, and then when you start, for example, this one will go from 1 volt up to 10 volts, waiting 1 second in each step. Let's see how it works. Let's start. Okay. You can see on the light bulb that is increasing the intensity. Yeah. Up to the 10 volts, that is the target voltage. So I will close this now. You can use this, for example, for battery charging according to the battery specifications. And also don't forget that the delay it's set for you, it's a custom value. You can do that in here. Okay. Also you have these options that are for scanning. For example, if you want to scan from let's say with 1 amp from 1 volt to, let's put here 12 volts. Okay, with a step of 1 volt and a delay of 1 second. Let's see what happens. Okay, take a look in the light and in the display screen. Is increasing the voltage up to the maximum of 12 volts. Okay, and it will leave the channel open while it reaches in this case the 12 volts. The same can happen, for example, with a 5 volts output, 1 amp to 5 amps, and with a increase of 1 amp for each second. So this will be very quick. Okay, 2 amps, and it will not change the intensity of the lamp because it's always in 5 volts. And that's it in terms of the advanced screen. Only to show you the upgrade screen. For that you will have here the boot button. If you press here, as you can see, the screen of the DPS-150 changed to the boot mode, and you just need to copy to here the new firmware, and that's it, nothing much. After it, you will restart the device and the new firmware will be installed. Okay, you have the button, and you have here the button for restart. Okay, we just did a restart. It's the same version because I didn't copy any file. I don't have any new file to copy to upgrade the firmware, but that's it. We have still the parameter settings where you can configure the over voltage protection, the over current protection, the over temperature protection, the low voltage protection, and this is the over power protection also in here. And finally, about this is the version of the software. And yeah, wrap up time, and I will start by saying that in this conclusion I have a lot to say, so please bear with me. For me, and this is a personal opinion, this device is perfect for hobbyists that don't want a big benchtop power supply taking a lot of space on your desk, while maintaining all the features of a full-featured high-end power supply. The box describes it as CNC DC power supply, but for me this is perfect for circuit design, test and analysis, and tasks related with these ones. You have everything you need in such a small device at a very accessible price. And talking about price, the DPS-150 is being sold at AliExpress around 50 euros or around $55 for the base versions, and 78 euros or around $85 for the version with cable and the 100 watts charger. There are two products that come into my mind in this mini power supply category. The DP100 with similar features and also more or less equivalent software, being sold with also equivalent price, and Miniware MDP solution at 4 times the value of the DPS-150, but being a totally different beast. The DP100 has only a fixed 0.96 inches screen instead of the adjustable 2.8 inches display and similar power supply features, but if you are talking about the Miniware MDP line, for the same solution with an adjustable 2.8 inches screen, it will require you to buy the MDP M01 module and the MDP P905 for equivalent features, or the MDP P906 for an output of 300 watts, but for a price range of around 4 times or more the price of the PDS-150. To be noted that Miniware is a modular solution, and one MDP M01 control unit can control up to 6 models, being MDP P905 or P906, or even the MDP L1060 DC electronic load units. So some price difference has to exist. Going back again in the DPS 150, in terms of features, I will locate it in the half of these two solutions presented previously, but with a reference price near to the DP100, and thus considering the options available in the market, it seems a very acceptable price position for what is being delivered. The construction is exquisite, very near if not equal to the Miniware products, and the way they located the buttons and the output ports is very handy. For example, the other mentioned units have the output ports on the left side of the device, and I personally prefer it on the front. Seems to me more convenient and user-friendly while using it and connecting the cables. Also make it more visible the lights when the output is on. The interfaces are easy to use, no time required to start using it, and the options are quite easy to understand. So good job FNIRSI in this part. While you have the main functions available by using the device interface and buttons, you have access to some advanced features using the PC software. These features include a timed and sequential sweep in voltage or current, or even a time voltage programming that could be used, for example, to charge batteries. A chart and data logging tool is also available, and the data logging tool exports directly to Excel files for your convenience. I did detect a bug on the preset group properties edit, that it opens the preset editor on the group ahead of the group that you wanted to edit the properties. But it's not a deal breaker. If you use the arrows, you can position again in the group that you initially want to edit the values. A controversial decision, in my opinion, was also using the micro USB socket for the data cable. While I do understand that this is a manufacturer option that might prevent some users of using the data port for supplying energy to the unit, because the unit can be also powered for minimal operation by the data port, it is a weird choice considering that all USB non-Type-C cables are being recycled to waste bin these days. Other than these two previously signed points, I don't have nothing bad to say about this unit. It has a fair price, works well and with accuracy. It is easy to use and can be powered by USB or DC. This DPS-150 is a huge improvement over the FNIRSI previous power supply DC 6000L in all ways possible, but you have a video here in the corner if you want to see the review. If you agree with me and are considering to buy one, it will be greatly appreciated if you also consider to sponsor the channel by accessing AliExpress or Amazon using the links on the screen or in the video description for your purchases. You will pay exactly the same, but will give me a big help to maintain the channel. Not paying a cent more is also your slapping the like button if this video was in any way useful to you. And let me remind you that every week I receive new items for review, and if you hit that subscribe button, it will help you to stay on the loop of what is released these days to the market. That's it for today. I really appreciate your company and the time you spent watching this video. I hope to see you in my next one. Until then, take care.